walk through the halls with a backpack full of lies. Straps digging deep in his shoulders, already bruised. Head down, eyes locked on the linoleum floor while the world keeps walking past. Smiling at strangers, nodding at friends. Echoes of laughter bouncing off walls they were never meant to feel part of. Mom said, be strong. Dad said, hold your ground. But their house was quiet enough to hear the silence scream. Walls thin as paper doors that don't close. A living room frozen in snapshots of strangers smiling. They were born in a town where the sunsets burned gold, but the warmth never reached them, the nights were cold. A town of storybooks for everyone else, and a mirror of gray skies for them, where every window showed a life they never lived. School was its own battlefield. Lockers slammed like gunshots. Friends laughed, friends left. Teachers praised, but they didn't know the war in their chest. Every joke ricocheted off invisible walls. Every compliment a stone landing hard. And every hour you felt like a lie, waiting to escape. By 16 they perfected the mask. Neat hair, clear eyes, perfect grades. Smiles on cue, laughter rehearsed, but behind closed doors the room was a cage. A diary of late night screams and pages filled with silent confessions. Music became a friend no one could see. Beats pounding like a heartbeat they could hold. Lyrics whispered secrets they never dared to share. A sanctuary of sound, a safe place in stereo. They texted I'm good to everyone they knew, while staring into mirrors that reflected shadows darker than blue, a shade that didn't have a name. Every stone thrown in the pond of their life, making ripples they hid from the world. By 22 adulthood hit like a train. Smiles at colleagues, nodding at small talk. Promotion, success, the expected script. But inside it was still a maze of doubt and dread. Rooms filled with thoughts no one heard, where loneliness echoed louder than applause. They wandered rainy streets with headphones on, beats and lyrics blending with the sound of tires on wet asphalt, scribbling in coffee shops. Journals filled with words no one would read, finding life in pen strokes, hope hidden between ink lines. One night under flickering street lights, someone reached out a hand, not asking, not demanding, just whispering, you don't have to go through this alone. For the first time in forever, they didn't hide, didn't run, didn't pretend. It started with words, tiny sparks in the dark, small truths that felt dangerous to say aloud. Therapy sessions that dug up buried fears. Every tear, every scream, every confession becoming fuel to build a life they could feel in. Friends who stayed, laughter that reached the parts of them that had forgotten how to breathe. Music that once hid them now became wings, lifting them slowly, gently toward mornings that didn't feel like punishment. Healing wasn't linear, it was jagged and messy. Days of triumph followed by nights of doubt, but each step forward was proof that masks could be set aside, that vulnerability was strength, not shame. They learned to stand in the sun without flinching, to laugh even when the echo of pain lingered, to dance in kitchens, cry in bathrooms, scream into pillows, to live fully, not just survive. Every new connection, every shared story, every creative line laid bare, built bridges over the gaps of isolation, reminding them that even in a world that whispers be fine, it was okay to shout back, to breathe, to exist. The night still came, still dark, but now they carried flashlights in their hearts. Friends who knew music that soothed, words they wrote that healed, and the small steady rhythm of hope beating in their chest, keeping time with life. They fell in love with life slowly, moments stitched together like threads in a tapestry, learning that beauty could be found in cracks, that strength wasn't silence but expression, that asking for help wasn't weakness, and laughter after tears wasn't a crime. They ran through streets with headphone blasting, spilled coffee on journals and laughed, danced alone in the kitchen, sang in the shower, every breath a defiance of the dark that once threatened to swallow them whole. Therapy music, writing friends who stayed, little victories, small rituals, learning to accept compliments without flinching, to look in mirrors and see themselves reflected, not broken, not lost, but human, capable of feeling, capable of love, capable of light. They learned to forgive the world for not seeing them, to forgive themselves for hiding, to forgive mistakes made in darkness, to stand in rooms full of people without fear of being invisible, without fear of being too loud or too soft. They still have scars, still have nights where shadows bite, but each morning is a canvas, each smile a flag of triumph, each step forward a song, each tear shed a note in their melody of survival. The world world still whispers, be strong, be fine. But they know now they can write their own chorus. Sing it loud, sing it quiet, sing it raw. Because life is too short to hide behind. I'm okay. They live for the sunlight,